If you clicked on this video, you probably want to know how to get your opponents tired, and you just want to punish the overall volume your opponent is throwing at you. Now, it is simple, but yet it still is very hard to do because it does take a lot of skill, it takes a lot of patience. But the first tip I'm going to give you is your fighter pick is going to carry a lot of weight because, I can use a Conor and still, drain somebody's stamina, have a stamina lead, but it's going to be a lot harder for you if this is something that you're new at doing. So if you want to have a style like this or be able to have more stamina than your opponent, I definitely recommend using fighters like Max Holloway, Corey Sandhagen, and just using, fighters that have at least 95 cardio and up. And it's going to make your life significantly easier, especially fighters with like Recharger that can, regain, a lot in between the rounds. Fighters with higher altitude, rounds 3, 4, and 5, consume less stamina. So look at fighters like that when you do start off this style. Now, the body jab actually plays a big part in this, as well as the rear body teep, because they're both very light strikes. They're quick. Of course, you have to be careful with the teep. If you do miss, you can get countered relatively heavily, but the body jab, it basically stops the short-term stamina recovery. Like even a jab up top does, but a lot of people are using head movement, and most of the time they're probably going to the head with bigger combos. So going down below and just tapping with a body jab, go up top and then go down to the body again, it's gonna keep that the short-term stamina low and not recovering. And the more times you're hitting the body with short-term stamina missing, the more you will drain your opponent's long-term stamina. Short-term is just, you see a little gray bar up there, like it's gray when you start striking. That's your short-term stamina. And long-term, I just mean when the bar is fully empty permanently, kind of like you see how he's missing about maybe 15% of his stamina. Because I am denying a few of his takedowns on top of all this body work right here. And that leads me to my next talking point, is when you are making the miss, they're gonna also lose more stamina, right? But that's when you want to hit the body. See, the body jab stopped that short-term stamina from coming, and then look at that. Hit him up top, hit him with a body hook, and then I even threw in a body knee at the end, and you'll see that short-term stamina dropping. That body cross right there just did it as well. And doing it with somebody like Conor is even better, because if you have the stamina lead, especially this significant with it like early in the fight, and you have 100 punching power, you will do devastating damage to your opponent, because stamina and damage do correlate. So that just basically means the more stamina you have than your opponent, the more damage you dish out and the less damage you take. For the most part, early on, I'm not trying to force too many body shots. I'm more focusing on my head movement and trying to make fighters or the players, whiff their combos or miss 2 out of 3 every single time. And the more you're making them missing in general is going to deteriorate their stamina long term. But if you actually make them miss a punch or a kick with head movement, like a duck, a slip, or a pull, it will actually drain a lot more. Look at that man with that body kick right there. And look at that 5-star teep right down to the body. Just small punishes. It's not about, throwing 30 body hooks, immediately. It's small damage over time and well-timed body shots that are going to significantly drain the stamina. Makes it so much easier, because that's why I'm going to break down these fights so you guys can see how easy it is to do this. But you just have to practice your head movement, because if your head movement's not on point and your block is just getting obliterated because you're just trying to wait to hit the body, you're going to become very easy to counter. That's why I'm throwing some up top. Also, a cross like up top can hit stun your opponent most of the time, especially if you're somebody like Conor or Max that have like a very high level cross. And then I'll go straight down to the body. Most of the time the hit stun stops them from even being able to interrupt or intercept my body shot. So it's a really good chance. Look at that. All the body work added up. Round 2, KO. And also, body kicks can drain more stamina, of course, because it's a way harder strike than something like a body shot. And we already know with body hooks specifically, and pretty much any body punch, EA significantly nerfed their damage by about 15%. So you're going to be able to do way more damage to the stamina and also just their overall body health with kicks. So doing all the tips I told you, on top of, you know, using that teep a bit to reset. And if you have moving forward, like opponents like this that are just moving forward, you know, nice teep down the middle, they walk into it while they're queuing up strikes. It's going to make it so much easier to drain their stamina because they're going to be walking into, you know, pretty much a kick with lower short-term stamina. So it's going to make it very easy to drain that stamina. Even a cool part I heard is that low kicks like add up to the point where like moving forward strikes will cost the opponent slightly more stamina. So, you know, you can also add in the low kicks, and it overall makes the fight even easier because it lowers your opponent's power by 30% once the leg is fully chopped up. So your opponent will be significantly losing power as you're racking up low kicks. So the amount of damage it could do through your block or, you know, landing combos up top, you're going to do a lot less damage. It's going to be easier to try to target the body and take your time. So say if you guys are a ranked player, right, I would highly recommend using these fighter picks I recommended, and also to use quick match as like an advanced practice mode. I run into division 20s all the time. I run into ranked opposition, you know, a handful of the time. Not every single match is like that. So there's a lot of easier fights for you, and there's fights that are in the middle, and then there's some fights where you're just equally skilled. So practicing that style in an environment where you're not really losing anything besides, like, you know, a loss to a certain person, you're not losing ranked points, you're not losing anything, I highly recommend that. And also a big thing you can really do is if you're one of those people who struggle chaining together combos, or just have issues mixing up your combos in general, like from, you know, going to the head to the body, body to the head, just think about it like this. Like if you start off something with your lead hand, you're going to end it with your rear. If you start with the rear, you end with the lead. So combos chain together in that way. That's why like a lead hook to the head and rear body hook, you know, they flow together. And it also depends on the fighters, you know, boxing move levels. You know, obviously if you're Max, Ilya, Volk, those are 4 to 5 stars, so you'll have no problem chaining together combos. But if you're like a Dan Hooker, or, you know, just somebody who kicks more, maybe like a Yair Rodriguez at 145, now you can't be doing the same things, but you could just do shorter combinations. The best thing you can really do is go into learn mode, the, you know, basically practice mode, turn off your health or turn off the AI's health, and from there just practice those mix-up combos from high to low. I don't know what happened to our opponent. I think he gave up. I thought he was AFK, so I was, you know, doing some jabs, but yeah. And you just do your mix-ups and practice them. So, you know, body cross, lead hook to the head, lead hook, body cross, like small shots, and just practice. Because you'll get very, very used to it in game the more you do it. Because, like, I wasn't great at combos and mixing up from head to the body, body to the head to get this body work and stamina drain. But the more I was in practice mode and the more I practiced in quick fight, it got so much easier. It was pretty much like I just play like this all the time. So definitely apply those tips. Well, as far as in my speaking points, that's pretty much it. So what I'm gonna do is we're just gonna break down the fight together. So, you know, we have a very, very aggressive Ilya, and I did take some damage in the beginning. But what I'm trying to focus on is, you know, look at that. Just nice body cross. I'm focusing on the smaller shots and just making him miss. And I'm honestly just trying to get used to what he likes to throw, because you can't just go all in immediately, because sometimes if you get hit with a big counter or a big combo, you can make the fight unwinnable very early, especially against an Ilya Topuria. I do have a 97 chin, but obviously that 99 power can nullify my chin very quickly if we get into a couple of bad exchanges. So yeah, we're throwing some stuff up top, but we're keeping it very short, 2 to 3 pieces tops. Look at that, pull, and we go right down to the body. Look at that, we intercept him one nice 1-2. Reason why I threw a head kick, mainly because we've been hitting the body, so I thought maybe he would be worried about it more. See, right there, he moved into that teep as he was loading up a nice snap jab, and we're able to take a little bit of stamina off of him. Look at the stamina lead I already have right now. I'm mixing in the body knees because Dan Hooker actually has a 5-star body knee, plus it's Ilya, so we want to punish him every time he gets close. Now, we can't just afford to have an Ilya feel comfortable standing in our face. And sometimes I am trying to throw a teep, but it does turn into a knee. See, we're just trusting our block. Look at that. Beautiful head movement right there. And we're able to rock that body. And his body health is almost about halfway. Man, a nice head kick counter right there. So with those 2 drops on top of all the body work and punishment we've been doing, his stamina is pretty much getting cooked in round 1. So the amount of damage he's going to be able to do and take is going to be a lot worse for him. He's going to take a lot more damage without dealing as much damage. He still is Ilya, so he still does have that chance to hit a really big combo or a really good counter and still hurt us. So we still have to be, you know, wary about that, cautious. Because if you're not and you feel like, oh, I got it in the bag, and you just go for it, that's how you get knocked out, and that's how you make the fight like a 50-50. You want to make sure you have the lead. Look at that. Timed a beautiful teep right there. Kicked the body while he was coming up. Another knee. All this body work's adding up. And round 1, we damn near got him halfway. He's almost halfway pretty much. Now round 2, same thing. Nice teep. Keeping it very short and sweet. Trying to guide him into some strikes. We're going to open up a little bit because, I mean, look at the stamina lead. Nice block counter right there. If you guys are wondering about the counters, definitely check out the streams. You know, I definitely teach these counters live, and I've done videos on them. Look at that nice body jab. You saw how to stop that short-term stamina from recovering. Body cross. Remember, it doesn't have to be double body hooks or, you know, these big body combos every single time. You know, sometimes I do it off of a big counter when I rock them. Sometimes I just don't. It's just very much going to depend on what my opponent is doing and what my opponent is giving up. Try to kick the body again, but yeah, just look at the stamina difference. And mind you, it's very hard to drain people's stamina in UFC 5 because you're allowed to throw so much more these days. Look at that. Pull right down to the body. Another knee to the body. He is able to get us down, but I mean, with the stamina difference, I mean, there's not many options he has that he can really do. So we're just going to build some GA, and we're ready to take the back. I'm just going to get right up to the feet. Look at that. We still have like 85% stamina. He's pretty much at like, what, 60% or so. He's about to be at the halfway mark for stamina. Try to open up with a big combo. He's still worried about up top, which is crazy because we've been tagging that body. Some people are very stubborn in that way. Look at that nice body cross right there. Something really small. Nothing too crazy. Nice body kick. Look, another teep while he was walking in. Still the same tips I've been giving you guys the whole video. Pretty much applying all of them to this video. I mean, to this fight right here. Look at that. We drop him again. Look at that. Another teep. And we pretty much just torturing him right now. Now he has like no stamina. He's pretty much at like 30-20% stamina just about. Not gonna lie, I got a little greedy. I'm trying to get this switch kick, but yeah, switch kick is a lot slower. To get it finished with a switch kick, the player definitely has to be some ass. I'm not gonna lie, it's very, very slow, or you're gonna have to like perfectly time one. Yeah, you see, because it's very slow, so easy to catch, but look at the stamina. Like, we just drained this Ilya in like damn near less than 2 rounds. And block counter KO. Hope you guys learned a thing or two. Stay tuned for more content.